In the heart of ancient Egypt stood a place unlike any other, a sanctuary for every idea humanity had ever dared to put to ink. The Library of Alexandria, a building so ambitious that its shelves were said to hold the sum of all human knowledge. Science, medicine, philosophy, maps of worlds yet unseen. Some say even the secrets of lost civilizations. And then, it was gone, burned, scattered, erased. But here's the question history still whispers. What if it had survived? Would we have walked on the moon 1,000 years earlier? Cured disease centuries before it claimed millions? Would the world you see outside your window look nothing like this one? This isn't just the story of a fire. It's the story of the greatest what-if in human history, and the night humanity's memory turned to ash. It began as a dream, not of gold, not of conquest, but of memory. When Alexander the Great carved his empire across the known world, he left behind more than soldiers and cities. He left an idea. In 331 BCE, on the edge of the Mediterranean, that idea took shape. Alexandria, a city unlike any other, a crossroads where Greece, Egypt, Africa, and the East met. And at the heart of it, a single audacious mission: to gather every scrap of human knowledge under one roof. Ships docking in Alexandria's great harbor were searched, and every scroll they carried was copied. Philosophers, mathematicians, and healers were invited, lured with gold and promise. It wasn't just a library. It was humanity trying to remember itself. Some accounts speak of hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Astronomy from Babylon, medicine from India, engineering from Greece, maps of lands no longer on our charts. Here, for the first time, the scattered voices of ancient civilizations began to whisper to each other in one place. The Library of Alexandria was not just a building, it was the first attempt at a global brain. And if it had survived, so much of what we call history might have been very different. Imagine walking into a place where the entire human story was written down, not one culture, not one empire, but all of them. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building, it was a vault for the mind of the ancient world. Every ship entering Alexandria's harbor was searched, and its scrolls were copied and stored. Some accounts speak of 400,000 to 700,000 works. Inside these walls, Babylonian star maps sat beside Indian medical texts. Greek philosophy debated Egyptian engineering. Chinese innovations whispered across papyrus to African astronomy. It was the first time in history that human knowledge became global. And what lay on those shelves was not just history, it was the future. Some believe it held theories of heliocentric astronomy, the sun, not the earth, at the center of the cosmos, centuries before Copernicus. Others suggest blueprints for machines of war and peace, long before Leonardo sketched his. There are whispers of ancient medicines that could have saved millions, if only they hadn't turned to ash. The library wasn't just a collection, it was a time machine. One that, if preserved, might have launched humanity centuries ahead of where we stand now. For all its glory, the Library of Alexandria didn't die in one night. It burned. And burned again. The truth is murky, buried under centuries of rumor and politics. Some say it was Julius Caesar in 48 BCE, when his siege set the docks ablaze and the flames spread to the library's scrolls. Others point to later centuries, when Christian mobs, fearing heresy, may have destroyed what they couldn't understand. Still more blame the conquest of Alexandria under the early caliphate, claiming a library that once held the world's mind was reduced to fuel for bathhouse fires. But here is the haunting part. No single story fits. There may have been multiple disasters, each one erasing another piece of humanity's memory. Was it an accident? A spark of war that nobody meant to ignite? Or was it deliberate? A conspiracy to silence knowledge that threatened those in power? What we do know is chilling. By the time the smoke cleared, the greatest collection of human thought was gone, and with it, a version of history we will never read. When the library burned, it wasn't just paper that turned to ash. It was centuries, maybe millennia, of human progress. We have glimpses, fragments, of what might have been stored inside those walls. Babylonian star charts so precise they mapped planetary orbits thousands of years before modern telescopes. Indian Ayurvedic texts, rumored to contain surgical procedures we wouldn't rediscover until the Renaissance. Egyptian mathematics and Greek mechanics that may have held blueprints for engines, pumps, and devices far beyond their time. But the terrifying truth? What we don't know is far larger than what we do. Was there a scroll where a forgotten genius described that the Earth revolves around the sun, centuries before Copernicus? Could there have been records of continents across the ocean long before Columbus ever set sail? Did someone write down cures for diseases that would kill millions in the Dark Ages? The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building full of scrolls. It was a bridge between what humanity was and what humanity could have been. And when it fell, the bridge collapsed. We are left staring across a gap in history so wide that even today, we can only guess what lies on the other side. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building, it was power. Whoever controlled it, controlled knowledge. And knowledge is the sharpest weapon humanity has ever forged. Some historians argue Julius Caesar's siege was an accident of war, a fire meant for enemy ships that spiraled into cultural annihilation. Others whisper about religious zeal. Centuries later, Christian mobs, terrified of heresy, stormed pagan temples and may have targeted the library's scrolls. Then there are the Islamic conquest stories, where knowledge that didn't fit scripture was allegedly burned to heat Alexandria's bathhouses. But here's the twist. No single villain fits the timeline. The library might not have died once. It may have been killed over and over again, chipped away by politics, fear, and the need to control truth. And that's what makes it more chilling. This wasn't just a fire. It was a war on human curiosity itself. Now, close your eyes and imagine a world where the Library of Alexandria survived. Imagine Einstein reading translations of lost Babylonian theories on relativity, or Newton building upon ancient Greek texts no longer buried in time. Imagine the Renaissance, happening 1,000 years earlier, the Industrial Revolution, powered by steam engines described in scrolls from the 3rd century BCE. This isn't science fiction, Because the library had it all. Mathematics from India, medicine from Egypt, astronomy from Mesopotamia, philosophy from Greece, and technologies we still haven't reinvented. But we lost it. And the cost? Centuries of delay. For 1,000 years, human progress wandered in the dark. Medicine stagnated. Science crawled. Whole civilizations reinvented wheels already imagined in Alexandria. The library didn't just vanish. It took with it timelines, discoveries, and entire futures. What would your life look like if humanity had never forgotten what it once knew? We live in an age the ancient librarians could only dream of. No scrolls, no flames, just bytes and bandwidth. The world's knowledge now travels at the speed of light, from the dusty tombs of Mesopotamia to cloud servers in California. Google Books, JSTOR, Project Gutenberg, Wikipedia, NASA Archives, PubMed, every field, every theory, every language, digitized, searchable, shareable. It's breathtaking. In 2025, more knowledge is available to a 10-year-old with a phone than was accessible to the kings of old. But we must ask, are we preserving or simply hoarding? Are we organizing it or drowning in it? The Library of Alexandria was curated, handpicked by scholars who believed in truth, debate, and clarity. But today, our digital libraries are shaped by algorithms, echo chambers, and monetization models. We have information, but do we have understanding? We have connection, but do we have context? And most important of all, what happens when the lights go out, when servers fail, when formats decay, when history is rewritten digitally and no one notices? The digital age offers a second chance, but unlike scrolls, our data can vanish in a keystroke. Will we preserve our era's wisdom, or will future civilizations look back and wonder what we lost when our library burned? What if the fire had never happened? What if the scrolls survived? What if the Library of Alexandria had grown, decade by decade, century by century? No dark ages, no scientific backtracking, no knowledge lost to the ashes of conquest. Imagine this. By 500 AD, humanity is exploring heliocentric models, not burning those who proposed them. By 1000 AD, steam engines begin replacing animal labor. By 1300, microscopes reveal the microbial world, and plagues are fought with science, not superstition. By 1500, surprised, we're navigating the stars. The Renaissance arrives early, not as a rediscovery, but as a continuous flowering of intellect. Women, scholars, philosophers, inventors from every part of the world, exchanging ideas through preserved global manuscripts, Africa's metallurgical secrets, India's zero and infinity, China's chemistry, Arab optics, Greek logic, Mesoamerican astronomy. All unified, not siloed. By 1800, we're not industrializing, we're interplanetary. And today, we might not be asking what Mars looks like, we might be living on it. Because knowledge isn't just power, it's acceleration. When shared, it compresses centuries into decades. When preserved, it makes humanity unstoppable. So when we mourn the Library of Alexandria, we don't just mourn books. We're reminded of a terrifying truth. Every time knowledge is censored, burned, deleted, or distorted, we lose another future that could have been.